Hello. Okay, Insidious The Red Door, a direct sequel to Insidious Chapter 2, and this time directed by Patrick Wilson. The film is based 9 years after his possession. Josh Lambert's memories of his experience in the fervour have been repressed. He is divorced from his wife Renee, and his mother Lorraine has recently died. His relationship with his son Dalton has become strained, and he attempts to heal things between them. I just want to start off with saying how much I dug this movie from a technical aspect. The way in which it was directed, the way in which it was shot. There was a lot of these long sort of drawn out moments and scenes with the camera where it sort of really allowed you to get immersed into the moment and sort of really kind of watch these characters, these characters breaking down and their emotions by just the way in which this film was directed and shot. I really dug the way, this is Patrick Wilson's directorial debut, and I think personally he did a really good job. And I thought there was a really good attempt at building tension as well with these long drawn out moments, and for me, for the most part, it worked. For me, The Red Door was quite a frustrating experience because there was a lot that I liked in this movie, but there was also a lot that I didn't like and I didn't think quite worked. Now, like I've just mentioned, from a technical aspect, just the way in which the film is shot, directed, I really dug it. You can kind of feel the passion for the material and the stories, and there's a real good attempt at creating horror and tension, and this movie was a lot deeper than I was expecting it to be as well. And it's only on reflection have I sort of really thought back on the movie. Like I haven't been able to stop thinking about this movie because I was so conflicted with the experience. And I just sort of really realised how much they were attempting to do with these characters and with this story, with its deeper themes, whether it be trauma and that relationship with a father and son. For me, it emotionally resonated with me. And I was not expecting that. But when it comes to the story and the characters' stories and how that plays out, for me, that is where the film stumbles quite a bit. And it really struggles and fails to build momentum. And there's just this lack of energy that just does not build to a climax. So the movie is pretty much, it starts, but it's almost as if it fails to sort of accelerate. And it just sort of, it's like very kind of one note. And so, from what I've just said, you could probably tell I am very conflicted with this experience because there were a lot of flaws in terms of how the story played out, the narrative, and sort of some of these characters' motivations and some of their choices just did not feel earned. And some of the motivations were very questionable. And again, these relationships between the son and this friend that he makes at college that just did not feel natural or organic. It's Patrick Wilson's character and his performance that really adds a lot of heart to this movie and story. There are some real emotional beats and moments dotted throughout this movie that I did not expect and really struck a nerve with me. And I just found myself, wow, it kind of really sort of just struck a chord with me. And it's all through Patrick Wilson and his performance. Patrick Wilson gives this very real, natural performance. And you buy into this character and his pain. And he is very, very good in this movie. There's this one scene in particular where he's just had an argument with his son and he's going back to the car. And it really sort of pulled on the heartstrings. It really sort of knocked me out of nowhere, and I wasn't expecting it. But again, it was all because of his performance in that moment and really allowed me to buy into this experience, or help at least attempt to buy me into this experience. Because like I said, this was such a conflicting and frustrating ride for me because there was a lot I liked, a lot I didn't like. But again, another one of those aspects that I really liked was Patrick Wilson's performance in this movie and what he did with his character. And yeah, I just really like how sort of they used certain things like art to sort of really kind of explore what the movie is dealing with in regards to its sort of themes, its deeper themes. Like art is this kind of sort of mechanism in the story, and just how it's used for people sort of really kind of channeling sort of repressed memories and just pain and trauma. I just really liked how that kind of played into the story. There was just a lot of elements I liked, but just again, going back to just how it sort of played out, that just the lack of energy behind the story and that sort of lack of momentum and that build up to a climax, just it gave the film this sort of very clunkiness to it. There was a bit of a clunkiness to it, and it just was very kind of just, like I said, one note. For me, again, it's another thing that I liked. It's not your sort of, I think people going into Insidious might be expecting perhaps a slightly different film to what you are going to get. I do think this is much more of a focus on characters and sort of their real internal pain and what they're going through, instead of sort of getting all these demons and these monsters, you know, every 5 minutes. It was a lot more to it than that, and I wasn't expecting that myself, and I really, again, like that angle. I really like that kind of direction in which they were going with this, but unfortunately there was a lot of character moments and character decisions and just the way in which some of these characters were written, mainly the son and his relationship with this friend that he makes at college, just didn't feel natural enough and organic. So yeah, there was this clunkiness to the story, and there were just situations and moments that just didn't make sense or feel natural or earned, and sort of the overall story didn't have a focus or hook. I just felt sort of the overall experience was quite ponderous. And, you know, it's kind of that to now sounds like I absolutely hated the movie or just really did not like the movie, but that's not the case. I kind of, yes, the film lacked any energy or momentum, but it was what they were trying to do within the story and the film that I could sort of really see, and especially upon reflection, that I could really sort of appreciate what they were trying to do. And I just, yeah, I liked it, but I also, there was a lot that I just did not work for me. And so, very conflicted experience. This is not a scary movie as such. There are moments that will give you chills, just down to the way it's shot and some of the lighting and the sort of the set design. But I found the movie to be more emotional and unnerving than just really scary or frightening or anything like that. There are some really good moments, sort of moments that will make you jump. Again, though, that there is still a lot of use of sort of using loud music to make people jump, and I'm not a big fan of that. But I just like the way in which some of the scenes were played out. I thought they were quite effective, and they were, you know, creepy. So yeah, I do recommend Insidious, The Red Door. And for me, it was just a very conflicting, frustrating experience because of the many aspects that I liked, but also the many sort of aspects that I didn't like. But upon reflection, I just really found myself appreciating the movie a hell of a lot more, and it's a movie that I'm definitely going to go back to and check out. And so this has been a very kind of hard one, really, to kind of, you know, where do I put this out of 10? And it's because it's sort of really stuck around in my mind, and, you know, I've been thinking about it for the last, you know, over 24 hours. The movie has definitely done what it should do, and that is stay with you and just sort of get you thinking about the story and just really sort of digging deeper. And yeah, for that, I am going to be giving Insidious, The Red Door, a 7 out of 10. Yeah. For me, this film went from being a 6 to a 5, back to a 6, then to a 7. This was a really tough one for me to grade, but also one that I really enjoy talking about as well, because it's just one of those sort of experiences that there's just so much to really, for me personally, to talk about with it, because of what I felt like it was trying to do. For me, it gets a 7 out of 10 because the movie stuck with me. and sort of it did emotionally resonate with me, and there's a lot that I did like about it. But again, there is a lot that I just did not think worked, and I don't think it's going to be for everyone, but I do recommend people check it out. So yeah, they are my thoughts on Insidious, The Red Door. What did you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below, and if you've watched the video up until this point, then thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see future reviews from a geek in Wales just ramble on, then please hit the subscribe button. It will mean an awful lot to me. My next review will be for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I'm about to go and see it after filming this review, so I will have a review for that shortly. So yeah, thanks for watching, really do appreciate it, and I'll be catching you guys soon.